Okay, today is November 6th, 2025. I was here a week ago on this Pennco boiler. Replaced the gas valve because the regulator wouldn't adjust, and did some cleaning and maintenance. You can see, which is a telltale sign of a draft or combustion problem, the rust on the front of that boiler. Now, there's another boiler in here that I serviced and cleaned last week. There's not a problem with any draft or CO. So, when the boiler was started, my analyzer peaked at the safety of 3,700 parts per million. And it did it several times, so I did the foil tape test. I'm doing this because for homeowners, and I'm going to title this post for homeowners. If you're calling HVAC companies that are not combustion analysis certified and have no CO safety experience, you're taking your health and life at your own risk. This is a simple small Pennco boiler. It's for the second floor unit. As you can see, there's a big sticker there. These people did not know what was going on here. They looked at it. And that's all they did. So what is the problem here? Is the boiler is not making a draft. The oxygen is depleting. So when this starts up, the air does not go to this burner. Now, upon doing this tape, I had to put this tape. There's another video I have. I'm going to make a few more of these, and then I said the air was not going to the burner. And by adding this temporary seal, it diverted the air to the burner to make a complete combustion and raise the oxygen level. Now, this is a total of a 70,000 BTU ECR Pennco boiler. So what I'm going to do is, before this battery wears out, I'll charge it, and I'll have the modification is, I'm going to set this because I don't want to waste too much time. So, homeowners mainly and professionals, if you're an HVAC person, we're going to remove this tape and you'll see the CO rise. This is going to be modified. Okay. Now, I usually have the videos after the startup, but we're going to do this before so you can see what occurs here. Okay, now I'm going to start this up. And as you can see, you'll see how this escalates. It doesn't come out. This is an open front draft. Now watch the parts per million and oxygen deplete. See where I'm at here? So for you people, see the oxygen going down, very down? That's very dangerous. For you HVAC people broadcasting, you do a combustion analysis, you do not know what you're doing. And I'm not slandering nobody. This is being deprived of oxygen. It has nothing to do with the gas regulator. You do not turn the regulator down. Now this will climb, it's not spilling. I have my personal here, so I'm safe. And this, homeowners, is what you can be getting yourself into by calling any plumber or HVAC company, plumbing company or HVAC company. This unit is making over 2,500 parts per million. The oxygen is 0.2. There's no oxygen. It's all going up the air, up the chimney, the air. And we're going to get to 3,000 and pull this out, okay? Because this goes up to 4,000. Okay, so when you see the 3,000, you'll believe me. Now, 31, 32. We're going to pull this out. Now look, that guy was looking at it. Now watch what happens when I simply put this tape back and just get in there. You can see that the oxygen has risen significantly. The parts per million are falling down right away. Now that was at a steady state. So our oxygen's about 5, 6, and those parts per million will drop down. There's no need to adjust the regulator. Although this regulator was turned in all the way, there was a problem here. So I replaced the gas valve to make certain that there was nothing wrong with the gas valve not admitting the gas in properly. Because this is an old boiler, but it wasn't the gas valve. Now that'll come down to below 100. 99 is allowed. Preferably you want to be somewhere around 20 and less. I get these down to the single digits, not no 20 or 30. Most of those people that are doing this, their analyzers probably haven't gone back and their NOx filters are out. But this is a Testo 300. Now the oxygen is at 4.3 because we have this not properly sealed, but of course I'm moving this too. So we want to show the general public. And that'll come down to 40, you know. As long as that don't go down below 4, 5, that'll be around 6 when I get the damper on here. We're going to install an MG 1.5-inch gas barometric damper. The air is the problem. The air is going in the wrong spot. Every building, home, or pressurized different. So you can see for yourself, that'll shoot down. I had this down to like, I think 6 or 5 2 weeks ago. Now, okay, so we're down to about 20, 21, okay? So we're gonna modify this, and I'll show you that with the tin and the damper here. We're going to take this off. So I'll be right back to you. Okay. This is the modification. Okay, so we sealed this. We sealed the draft box. I checked this because this was previously sooted up. Now apparently this lady didn't know what was going on. The guy that she had called here before, he had removed the spill switch because this was not combusting. It was not drafting. It's a low draft. So this is sealed. It's modified. We're going to leave a yellow tag here. It's legal to make this safe. And the damper stays. So we put, in this case, the barometric up there. Now we're going to see if I have to put weights. You can see the pressure difference in the house. Okay, now that will affect your boiler. For homeowners calling anybody to do work, check, test their boiler. They don't know what they're looking at. If they're not certified combustion analysts, you should tell them to leave. This was a very, very dangerous situation. It's a small boiler. Whether it's a small boiler or a water heater, this thing was escalating to about 3,700 parts per million. I'm sure it was higher, because my analyzer would, has a sensor. So we're going to start this up. And we're going to take a reading. Now, I took this draft box off, and apparently at some point this thing carbon, and they had to remove the draft box and clean the boiler, in which some cases you have to. I checked it because I got a little black stuff in my hand, but there's no carbon in there. I looked on the bottom. Alright, so let's we're going to give this a start up, and I'm going to test this. I'm doing this because this is a second floor job, and here we go. Then I'll make sure the thermostat. Somebody left their utility knife. So this is mainly for homeowners. You're calling somebody to check your heating system. You want to make sure they're combustion certified, combustion analysis certified. So I got my personal, and this thing was going up, so we're going to verify this thing's fine and dandy. You can see the damper moving. Now that's typical for an old one. That's went up to 548. It's been off for a couple hours. It's coming right down. So startup should be like about around 500. Older, a little bit over 500. This has been cleaned. I cleaned it. So what I did was I lifted this up and got my soot vacuum. They give you that flexible hose, aluminum hose, and I bent it up in there and I sucked out the top of the heat exchanger. Now by simply sealing this off and putting the draft regulator, barometric damper up there, we're working the air down to the bottom here. And we're going to test this for about 6 minutes. Appliance has 5 minutes to create a draft. set my timer for 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Counting down.
So if there's any tradespeople watching this video, if your boss doesn't have an analyzer or certification, you're cleaning burners and walking away, changing a thermocouple or a spark igniter, you don't know what's going on inside. This was proof of a lethal weapon ready to kill somebody. So we're done. This is my light. We don't need that. You can see this is at 10.3 oxygen, about 17 ppm, 9.8. It's coming down, and that damper's staying closed. This is a low draft. Now as that starts to heat up, which it is, we're forcing the air, not forcing, we're redirecting the air to the burner chamber. I bumped that, that's why it went up a little bit. So it's coming down. So you can see here it's a low draft. It's starting to make a draft now. And that's how this gets done. You can see here we don't have no parts per million. I got my sensor con inspector. I have the Testo 1-2. Because if you're around these things and you're not going to smell carbon monoxide. Now you can see that that's starting to make a draft. It's controlling the combustion air in the draft. So this thing is down to 8 to 9 ppm parts per million. That's not going to kill you. And the oxygen slightly a little bit, but I'm not going to give it any more gas because that's not bad. It's between 9 to 10. So if you're seeing this, this is a true case. I did the full video from before and after. And this works for water heaters too. They get that way too. This is an ambient. I'm going to do a draft test on this. So there's nothing spilling here. And as you can see, we're about 7 parts per million. Very good. And as you can see now, that thing's starting to open to allow the dilution air in because it's pulling air. Now that oxygen will move. I'm going to redirect this camera to show you the damper, how it's controlling and regulating. This is a draft regulator. Controls the combustion air in a draft. leaky basements. There's a cellar door here and a folding door that flaps down. But this is the way to go. You can see this thing is cool. This is cool too, because the air is being pulled right up through the darn heat exchanger from the burners, taken in the air. So to recap here what happened, and I'm actually going to do one tomorrow where there was a excuse me, plumbing and heating and air conditioning company. This boiler's been off since September. I was there Saturday, made a temporary repair, and a guy called a chimney sweep, and they got him for $4,000. For a liner, but the liner wasn't necessary, so they removed the stainless steel liner. And to recap here, I'll explain tomorrow too. It's the same thing that's occurring. Is the atmospheric boiler here. This was an open draft box, open to atmosphere. Due to this basement, there's a cellar door right around, you make it right. There's no windows there. And as I told you before, my camera died. This is the other boiler. I cleaned this and checked it over a week ago. You see my tag up there. Nothing wrong with it. It's right around this room here, okay? But yet this one here would starve for oxygen and make high carbon monoxide. Now, the air, when this thing come on, at all times, would not go evenly to the burner. It would all go up this draft. And would stop the flue gas from going up. Then you're making carbon monoxide. So to verify that this modification would work, you have to put something across here to seal it. In this case it did. And that calls for the MG1. Double acting barometric gas damper. 2 spill switches you got to put. Anything with gas, propane or natural gas, got to be the MG1. These go up to, I believe, 9-inch. Then they have an MG1 plus, I don't know what it is. I put a couple of those in. So what I want to say is, if you're going into a house or a building, you see this rust. The burners are cast iron, they're fine. I cleaned them. If they were metal, they probably would have got damaged. This was from the flue gas that was spilling. In this previous company, they removed this spill switch it went through. You got to seal this too. Any openings you got to seal here on this draft box. This has heat cock, so this is all sealed and it's screwed in. And I folded it up and screwed it. They jumpered the rollout switch because they just didn't know. That's a safety device. You can't remove that. So we're going to save this, and this thing is fine-tuned. Now this, quoting somebody talking about tune-up, this is a tune-up. So if you're saying about a tune-up to a boiler or furnace, this right here is a tune-up and a modification to the manufacturer's original design, which is legal to do. Look it up. It's in the fuel code. Cornell Law, I believe, has it in there too. It's only to make the appliance safe, not for efficiency. Although it's going to be slightly better. Now I want to just check this draft here with this. So this. We don't need a damper on there. Oh, wait. This is showing a minus 0.0. So we may have to put a little weight on here. I don't know. We're going to verify that here in a second, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with this. Putting a weight up there, and this is the conclusion of making a boiler safe. Until the next adventure, this is Vince Marino Plumbing, LLC in Pittsburgh. If you're in Pittsburgh, and you're looking for somebody to check your boiler, give me a call. Steam and hot water. Arrivederci.